Good evening, good morning, depending where you are. My name's Dan Saunders. I'm the retail marketing manager for Stanley Black& Decker in the UK. I'm here today with two absolutely fantastic guests. We've got a lot of content to get through today, so there's a good chance that we probably will be going over our time. I've just been speaking to these guys for like the last 10 minutes, and I've got so many questions, and we've got so many things to bring up to you today. Give us a shout out where you are. Please comment and chat. Anytime you shout out where you are, furthest person will always get a shout out from us. And also, feel free to ask your questions at any time. We will do our best to get them all answered. If we can't get through them all through time restraints, if we turn this hour webinar into an hour and a half, that's the point where my job is to say, no, I'm sorry, no more information for you people. We will come back to you on emails. Just before we get into everything, I'm just going to introduce the lovely gentleman from Mouseflow, who's actually the only person I know that's got a better beard than I have. And Eddie, do you want to talk a little about yourself and a little bit about Mouseflow?
Absolutely, man, and thank you. Thank you for having me. Absolutely, the beard game is on today.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for not shaving it and not making me feel more self-conscious about it. So definitely appreciate it. Well, like you said, I work at Mouseflow. It's a behavior analytics tool. I am the senior growth marketing manager for the company, and essentially what we do is help people craft better online experiences uh, through the use of session replay, hit maps, and conversion funnels, feedback campaigns, et cetera, et cetera. So that's essentially what we do.
excellent.
And my name is Zach Zorn. I own moneynomad.com, which is an entrepreneur website for those that sell Amazon FBA, just sell e-commerce like through Shopify or through WordPress. And then I also have a segment of the website that helps those that own content websites that are monetized through affiliate marketing and things like that. So thank you, Cellzone. Thank you, Mouseflow, for having me. I'm looking forward to a good conversation.
Excellent. Well, I'm hoping it's mostly you guys that are doing the speaking because I'm client side now, so I don't get to do any of the experimental stuff or any of the cool stuff you guys get to do on a daily basis. Before we get into this, Zach and Eddie, I think you both got offers for the viewers today.
We do. I think it's posted right now in the comment section. If not, Nikolai, our person in Celson, will be posting it soon. So we have some very very exciting offers for the viewers today that we'll also be sharing at the end of the webinar.
And I also have a link. It's in the YouTube description. But if you go to moneynomad.com/cellzone, I offer consulting for those of you that have FBA businesses and standalone e-commerce businesses. You can fill out a form there. And if you want a one-on-one consulting, that's how you can do that.
And if anyone wants anything from me, I'm just going to direct you to these two. I've just realized I'm pointing the wrong way. I don't know where I am. Here we go.
Here.
These guys, yeah. Anyone asks, I'm going to point you to these guys as well. So, the original title for this webinar was going to be something somewhat controversial, and we were going to try and be very clickbaity. But we toned it down. We were very respectful with it as well. We were going to talk about if you're in e-commerce, do you even need your own website? As controversial as that was going to be, especially to all the different SEOs out there in the world, we didn't stick with that. We've got the very loving and thoughtful name now, but yeah, Eddie, talk me through how do you optimize your listings based on some of your own website data?
Sure, and to your point, yes, the question was very provocative. I mean, a lot of people are asking those questions right now, right? Especially with how much of a footprint Amazon has on e-commerce right now. So the answer is a definite yes. You do still need a website, and the better of it is that you can actually optimize a lot of your Amazon store based on data that you wouldn't otherwise get from the store listing itself. So a few things that you could do, right off the bat, that could permeate through to the Amazon store listing is to split test. That's a big thing, especially in e-commerce now. The market is very competitive. The landscape is super competitive, and you have to find the right combination of words to actually get through to the sale, or even to move the customer from one part of the funnel to another. So split testing those descriptions actually will help you to optimize then and grab the champion, quote unquote, and bring it over to Amazon store and increase that effectiveness. I'm looking away because I have my talking points on the left. Other things that you could definitely do in terms of uh, what can I do on my website to bring over to my Amazon store to be more effective is to test different product pictures, right? That's a big thing. Like the more enticing the picture, the better the more people stick around, and the better the conversion is. So definitely on the website you have that ability of having that data and saying like, oh my god, this picture converted better than the other one, and like those little things do actually boost conversion. And it doesn't matter whether it's in the website on Amazon. Most likely the persona is changing behavior, but it's still the same persona. So it's a matter of, are they shopping for convenience, or are they shopping for something specific, right? Aside from that, pricing strategy, that's something that on the website you could most definitely get ahead of. Testing different pricing points, testing different offers, and then move those over once you have, again, quote unquote, a champion. Another big thing in terms of content itself is to understand how the structure changes on user behavior, right? It's different when you have a huge text, and I see Zach agreeing with me, and I'd love for you to chime in as well. When you have a huge chunk of text, it's not the same as when you have bullet points, right? I tend to think, as most users, especially nowadays, we're competing for time. We're not competing against other tools per se. So a lot of people like snackable content, and as such, bullet points usually do the trick. So that's another thing that you could actually test and find the right hooks for your users. Zach, I see you're nodding, so I wonder if you have anything to add here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you kind of summed up, is bite-sized pieces of text, um, just super digestible. Tell the potential buyer what they need to know. Don't make them like search for it. Just tell them there's one, two, three, four bite-sized data that delivers a ton of value.
Exactly, absolutely. And well, just to summarize on my intervention here, there's a big thing about a lot of us are doing PPC, a lot of us are driving traffic, and that hard-earned traffic um, definitely brings you different types of value, right? A user from Facebook might not interact with your website as somebody from Twitter would, right? And as such, that's something that you could actually see on a website, and understand what is the behavior, and then finding what are the different things that trigger these personas, and then funnel the right campaign to Amazon versus funneling into the website. I know it sounds a little out there, but at the end of it all, finding these behaviors and finding these triggers depending on the channel of acquisition is definitely going to make a difference, not only on whether or not they convert, but also on how much you retain these customers,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah. And I want to, so, I mean, we know that selling online, whether it's e-commerce or Amazon, it's competitive, right?
yeah,
But very few people in the grand scheme, very few sellers in the grand scheme of e-commerce are spending the time going through the fine details that we're talking about to truly optimize their listing or their web page. And by you doing that, you're already putting yourself in probably the top 10% of sellers on e-commerce.
right,
And I've seen for
absolutely,
myself, it matters. You can have a listing with no reviews, but have the most refined photos and text and still drive sales better than a competitor of yours that has hundreds of reviews but has a very subpar um, listing. So
absolutely,
this is all
yeah.
very, very important to set yourself apart.
Yeah, and it's all a matter of having that the website be somewhat of a sandbox, right? There are some experimentation that
Yeah.
you could not do on an Amazon store listing. So your website becomes this live creature that you start testing hypotheses to see what is actually driving, and how you can actually drive more conversions, whether that be on Amazon or on the website itself.
And you might have your Amazon listing pretty dialed in, and you don't want to mess up your sales velocity. And that's where working on your website can be a great avenue to be testing things. And then once it's
Right.
proven and tried and true on the website, port that over to the Amazon listing, 100%.
So
Nice.
yeah, so what about the other way around? So how can we use some of the Amazon store data
Yeah.
to optimize the site, and then bridge that gap, right, and leverage both into making more money at the end.
Yeah, totally. So a really big one that I actually don't see utilized that often is pay-per-click, the Amazon pay-per-click um, keywords report. A lot of people run PPC ads, right? But if you're running an automated PPC campaign, Amazon is already going in and finding keywords they think will convert for your listing. Export that data if you have never done so, and look through those keywords. What is getting the most clicks? What is getting you the most sales return? And incorporate those keywords um, into your descriptions. Um, put it both in the website descriptions and also the Amazon listing descriptions. This is great for search engine optimization. A lot of the hard work's already done for you. People are already telling you what words they're looking for. Make sure those are included uh, in your descriptions.
Yeah.
Cart value. So on your own Amazon listing, you can see which items are frequently bought together if you scroll down about halfway down the page.
Yeah.
This can give you a great idea if you're looking to offer more products on your website. Use what people are already buying on Amazon. Use that data to find products that you can sell on your own website. And then maybe you can even start selling those on Amazon if they perform well on your own website. And some of the items that are frequently bought together are pretty small. Maybe consider them being an add-on when the person goes to cart on your own website. Maybe a $5 add-on or something like that, just where you can bring up the total value of that person's purchase.
Yeah.
Amazon's already doing that hard work for you. They're telling you what people are buying with your product.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because that data is right there for the taking, and it's interesting that you mentioned that it's essentially a great way to create these offers and upsell opportunities, even if it's whether that be on Amazon store listing or on the website itself.
And you can also see what people are buying with your competitors' products. Maybe
Yeah,
what they're buying with yours
true.
is different than your competitors for some reason. And now you can kind of reverse engineer, okay, why is that?
Yeah.
And who knows what you'll find in that, but it will be helpful regardless. Um, and branding. So if you're not already sending something with your products that are being fulfilled by Amazon that points people back to your brand and your website, you're missing out on brand awareness and potential customers that you could get directly to your own website. And we'll go into more of value, why it's important to have customers come directly to you if you can. But if you're not including a pamphlet, a card, an offer, trying to push them back to your own website, you really should start implementing that as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, it kind of reminds me of the fact that the only rule that there is no rules, right? And
Yeah.
nowadays you either start, like, it doesn't matter where you start as long as you start, kind of thing, if you're an entrepreneur. And if you start in Amazon, you're missing out on a lot of building your brand outside
Yeah.
of that frame, right? And the same happens on if you have a website that doesn't have an Amazon store listing, you're definitely missing out on a lot of convenience shopping, like I like to call it. So definitely
It,
interesting.
so when I'll include a little business card size. Thank you for your purchase. This is on the products that are being fulfilled by Amazon. Thank you for your purchase. Here's a 10 or 20% off discount code to my website. And now I'm able to track it too, because that
Yeah,
discount code is only put into Amazon uh, fulfilled products. So I'm able to
yeah.
track to see how that's working.
Yeah. So I think that that's another, actually, another thing that I think it's paramount to the success of any of the stores is getting to know the customer, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I think also it's lacking on the Amazon store listing, that you don't get that type
Yeah.
of access that you would otherwise. So, but they already made the purchase. So I think with that idea of including the coupon, that's an amazing way of getting them back, getting to know the brand a little bit better, and actually now get the opportunity to own on their journey essentially and get
I
on
mean,
it.
you've already they already trust you, right? They bought through Amazon.
Yeah,
They already trust
exactly.
you. They got a great product. And I think that's kind of where the barrier is. That's where Amazon kind of succeeds. People trust Amazon and the returns and the shipping, But once you've already proven to your customer you have a quality product, getting them to buy from you directly, that barrier of trust, you've already built it up.
Yeah.
Now you can own your customer because, like you said, you get very, very little data when someone buys through Amazon. You don't own
Yeah.
that customer at all.
It's quite interesting that you mentioned that as well, because I've just seen in one of the comments as well, because I've had the same issue. Before I came in-house, and like you said, entrepreneurial spirit, I used to have the side hustle of selling iPhone chargers.
Yeah.
And the idea was that I'd use Amazon. Like I said, this is circa 2012, so this is me being the old guy in the room. I did way back when used to do this, but then I think 2000, it was either 2016 or 2017. I started getting my product rejected because I used to have that coupon in there. I don't know what it's like where you guys are now, because obviously I don't ship to the US anymore. But I used to get my products rejected because even if I put it into like the actual packaging itself, because I used to vacuum foam it. I used to vacuum foam it to make it look a little bit more like, I've not just bought it 100,000 from eBay for like 10 cents or something like that, and you just make it's all in the packaging, right?
Oh yeah.
More people, so feel free to steal that idea. That's cool. But I used to even put it into the packaging, and I think it was from when they found one and they started testing the packaging after that. But like I say, I've not done this since circa 2017. So things may have changed, or
and hey, maybe I'm flirting with fire. I've never had an issue with them across all my products. I do put it into the product, so like once the lid comes off or the bag gets opened or whatever, so it's not clearly visible. It's more of like an Easter egg.
Looks like Zach is hacking a little bit.
I like it. I like this plan because you know what? I think thinking about it, I used to vacuum foam it into the product and the label, because it was in the clear vacuum foam. So when they got it out of the product and out of the boxes, etc., you could see it there. So maybe that's
like one of them is a lipo, like a battery bag where you put lipo batteries in so they don't burn. When you unzip that, you put it in, then it's zip back closed. It's a little. I don't know.
It's don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? If I'd have thought about it at the time, you know what? Like I said, put it into the packaging where they're not going to be, not going to be opening it. And these are things that.
And the other thing is that we cannot underestimate the power that the Amazon traffic brings, and even if it's like there is some passive brand lift that you're getting just for the sake of being there. So while there might not be transactions, I also think that there is tons of value to have the brand out there and have a brand space inside Amazon so that you can eventually capitalize on that traffic.
And I think if you ever want to exit and sell your brand or company or whatever you want to call it, having a standalone website and as Amazon listing adds so much value to a prospective buyer. You can get a higher multiple. You obviously are going to have higher earnings. It's just going to add more value when you exit.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just going to take some, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to take some questions from the audience. A little bit more detail. So from Russia with love, we've got Eugene. We've also got Kushma. Sorry, I apologize. I'm British. We don't pronounce any other name that's not British. I apologize. It's we just rip languages to pieces. And you know what? I'm part Arabic, and I always try to do the role as well. So I've got. I apologize for being horrible with names. And,
you're doing great. You're doing great. Don't worry.
I try my best. And then we've got Sleep Spa. I think that's head office. Hello to you as well. So we've got a question from Randy about do you recommend communicating linking from your own site, zero commission, to Amazon, 15% commission, or other marketplaces, or not point the buyers off your own store?
So here's when a lot of your strategy will come in, right? It might be that you run some products on Amazon, and it might be that you run some products on your website. And I think that's one of the Zach and I have been discussing also is how do you actually work in that commission, right? And the idea is for you to come up with a strategy that makes sense for your business, right? It could be that you start selling off everything on Amazon, and then little by little you start selling off other stuff on your website until you build some of that brand awareness and then brand loyalty, right? And it could be the other way around. You might want to just run offers through Amazon because that's what's been working for you. But it will largely depend on your strategy and how your users interact with both your website, Amazon store listing, and how they convert. It's Randy is suggesting also, like the point buyers of your own store. It's all about the journey. So understanding that journey also makes a lot of sense, because I mean, if you think about it, if you go to a store, at least here in the States, you go to a store, let's say Nordstrom, and you find a pair of shoes, the first thing I do is go on Amazon and look it up, right? So I think understanding how your users make the purchase decision is what's going to inform you whether or not it makes sense to send people to your website or send them to Amazon.
And so something that I would do when I was testing a new product to see if it might sell well before I just jumped in and bought 500 units or whatever it might be, bought in bulk, on my standalone e-commerce store, I would offer products that I didn't sell in-house, but I would direct that person to Amazon through an affiliate link, to not even a product I was selling, to someone that it might be a future competitor. But because I controlled the affiliate link, I was able to see if it was working. And even if they didn't buy that specific product, I could see what else they were buying. So if you're selling on Amazon and you have not played around with also becoming an Amazon affiliate, um, you should, because the data that you can collect from people using your affiliate links is very interesting. You have to be careful. You can't obviously use your own affiliate links to buy products and things like that for yourself, but you can get a lot of insightful data with the Amazon affiliate links.
I think that's two bits of amazing advice there. Know from Eddie, know your customer, know your personas, know where they're shopping. Because if you're a commodity, like you said, Amazon's going to look into. You're going to look into Amazon. Like, I've got a can of Coke here. I bought from the store for 50p. I go on Amazon and I realize, actually, you know what? I could buy en masse for probably around the same sort of price as well. And then exactly what you're saying. Directing your customer through the affiliate links. That's going to
That's a great strategy.
even going to a competitor. That's absolutely fantastic. And then knowing what they're doing after they've looked at your product, that's an absolutely fantastic.
It's all about that data and that intelligence, that strategy and understanding, like you suggested, the customer and how they think.
Here's another one that some of the viewers might find interesting is, so on my standalone e-commerce website, I opened up a blog section, if you want to call it, where I would write product reviews, because I would use like SEMrush to find keywords that were ranking well around a product that I was selling. I would write a review or have a reviewer write about my own product. I'd put it on my website for review, and I would then push that reader to my own product in Amazon through an affiliate link. So in this case, I was already actually selling the product, but I was getting organic Google search traffic by people looking for a review of this product. Then I'd push in through Amazon through affiliate link. And again, even if they didn't end up buying my product and they bought a competitor's product, I still got paid because of the affiliate link, and I could see which product they bought.
That's smart.
So if you're into SEO and e-commerce, and if you can leverage all these little pieces to help build up your income streams.
And I think what we've seen lately from Amazon, I know this is a tool on SalesZone as well, is you can check to see where traffic and purchases are coming from for your competitors. You can put in the async and you see whether it's referral traffic, whether it's ad traffic, or even if it's Amazon traffic. And one of the things that we're seeing is that Amazon SEO is being treated more like traditional Google or Bing SEO, in the fact that people are now building links to their PDPs, and those PDPs, because nothing pleases Amazon more than an outside sale from the other way. So these links are becoming as valuable as if we're building links for clients, digital PR links for clients in Google as well.
And that's which, yes, you're completely right. And that's what kind of scares me as also an SEO guy is I'd rather build links to my own website that I control. Because at the end of the day, you're building links is time consuming, typically. And if they're going to Amazon, you don't control that really.
Exactly. And I think that the like to the original question, do you even need a website? Do you even need both? I think that understanding the journey and understanding that, like Randy suggested about the margins, and understanding how is it that they're making the purchase decision, and then adapting your strategy so that you can leverage both. Because at the end, if you have one, you're not tapping into the other. So it's about leveraging both, and I think that Zach is giving amazing insights and great hacks, by the way, into increasing that revenue by capitalizing on even your competitors, which I think is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic. Sorry, Zach, I interrupted you.
No, I was just thank you. This is all stemmed from literally just trial and error of me trying to increase sales, increase the value of my brands. We're talking about the things that have worked. We're not talking about all the hundreds that have failed and things like
Right.
that, right?
Super important to highlight, because a lot of the times when you get into these webinars, people tend to think like, oh man, I don't like to call myself a master of anything like that. If anything, I'm a master of failing, because that's what
Yeah,
gets me to success, right? So it's important to tell people that it's okay to fail. It's okay to as long as you have somewhat of a control system in which you can learn from.
yeah.
It's okay to fail multiple times in order to get to that success, right?
And what really drives me, and I mentioned before, is if you ever want to exit, your average profit is multiplied upon a revenue. And that's typically how you get your valuation when you sell.
Yeah.
So if you can make one change that puts an extra $1,000 of profit into your P&L, you times that by the multiples that are probably in high 40s right now, say 47, $1,000 times 47 is $47,000. Because
Yes.
one change you made, you could put an additional $47,000 in your pocket on an exit. And if
That's
it was
true.
2,000 or 3, and so that is what motivates me to try to find things like that. And I know a lot of people aren't even thinking about an exit now, but
Well,
that's
it's good to have it on the horizon, right? At the end of it,
Mm.
at the end of it all, we all want to make more money. So
Yeah.
it's important that you might not be thinking about it today, but sometimes opportunity comes knocking down the door, and better to be well equipped than ill equipped, right? To handle that situation. So
And basically look big picture. And that
yeah.
helps me look in the macro and to put it into perspective. So Rodrigo asked a question about
Rodrigo is a long way from home, because he sounds very Latino, but he's in Norway. So shout
Yeah,
out to Rodrigo.
I can't even
Who's
roll my tongue, so thank you for covering me there.
that's what I was hoping for. I was like, Eddie needs
that's
to
what I'm
do
here
this.
for.
So he was asking about basically PPC. From my experience, I played around with Google ads and Facebook ads and things like that. I found Amazon that native Amazon PPC ads to deliver the most value. I was going to talk about this later, but I'll talk about it now. Is if you're not already running an automated Amazon pay per click campaign, do so. Let it run for a week.
Oh yeah.
Stop it and download that report. Find those top keywords, return on investment keywords, and re-enter those into a manual pay per click campaign. I only like the automatic campaigns simply for helping me find keywords to target. And then I want to be in control of the spend and all that. So leverage the automated keywords, put them into a manual campaign, and I think you'll see an increase in sales immediately.
Yeah, I th-
Um,
yeah, I definitely don't doubt that, and you see, it's all about intent, right? People that are in Amazon, they're primed to buy. They're there to buy something, or they're really down the funnel, close to making a decision. Maybe they're pricing surfing, like they're just like looking for the best price. So I think that running PPC, in my experience, has been very successful.
yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot that goes into setting it up and running it properly. But with the Amazon option of running this automated campaign, which Google is actually now starting to push really hard into traditional PPC folks like myself, will give you a plethora of information on not even to optimize the listing, but to also understand what is the shopping behavior, right? And then leverage those out across either Amazon or the website.
Totally. And a lot of people put emphasis in you have to get a ton of reviews to get sales on Amazon. Personally, from my experience, I disagree. Reviews definitely help, no doubt about it. But day one, you're going to have 0 reviews unless you're doing something shady, which I wouldn't recommend. But you can combat that with a good native Amazon pay-per-click campaign. That's how I'm able to get my sales velocity going the week I list a product, is simply through automated keywords, drilling it down into manual. Talking just about Google ads, where I've seen success with Google ads, is more so running ads to, I was talking about those review posts of my own products that then affiliate link someone over to Amazon. Running Google ads to those pages on my e-commerce website, that proved to be very lucrative because the cost per click, since it was a review style search query, was very low. It wasn't you weren't competing for like an e-commerce keyword phrase, it seemed like. So that was profitable as well.
I just want to make sure that I at least myself understand what Rodrigo is trying to get at, because I don't know if it's trying to find, and Rodrigo, please chime in over chat. I wonder if you're looking to understand what is the best acquisition channel, or what is the best way to drive traffic to your Amazon store or your website, because at the end it will largely depend also on the maturity of your audience. Because if in Norway it's easier to set up Google ads, it means that it must be a little bit of a contested landscape, but people might not be shopping for your product on Amazon. So it's really hard, at least for me, to give a recommendation on, oh no, you need to do this. Like, there's no blueprint, guys. At the end of the day, it's about trial and error. It's about going out there. I know that Google sometimes has offers for new accounts. Go out, do it multiple times, and test it as much as you can to see whether or not that's going to give you any return. So the best way to drive traffic, I would suggest that you go back a little bit to the basics and the drawing board. Understand, I cannot stress this enough. Understand your customer, understand your consumer. What is driving them? What are their pain points? Build your personas, your jobs to be done, whatever framework you like. It doesn't matter as long as you inform your strategy on consumer needs, not on product or business needs. Because there's no, like, you can be successful with a good product and sell it as much as you can, but it will come a time where you will plateau. And I talk this from experience. And there is a good book called about Crossing the Chasm. I don't remember the author, but it's about selling, getting to the cusp, and then falling down. And some of that, it's a calls to arms to say, like, we need to look in and see how our audience have matured. So to tell you, Rodrigo, whether or not you need to do Google, you need to do Facebook, man, please try them all. Try and see, as long as you're measuring, by the way.
Try them all. And if
Yeah.
you have an Amazon listing today, start an Amazon pay-per-click campaign.
Yeah.
I never was a big fan of Facebook ads, never had much success with that. Rodrigo, if you want to also try TikTok ads, TikTok ads are extremely affordable right now. So if you sell a product, whether it's Amazon or on your own standalone store, that is somewhat intriguing that you can make into video form, leverage TikTok. It sounds crazy. It sounds like it's just for kids. It's not.
I'll make a confession, man. I signed up a couple days ago on TikTok. I like, it's not my thing. I'm 34, going 35. I don't consider myself old, but definitely TikTok is not my jam. I don't understand it. I don't have the capacity or the mental space to understand it all. But I must tell you that if their onboarding is any indication to the type of segmentation that you can do in TikTok ads, there might be something there to look out for.
And it's not just, I know TikTok's like very popular right now. I'm not just saying a buzzword. I have many friends that are driving 7 figures worth of sales through TikTok. And
any product, or is it like product specific? I just wonder.
Well, my friends are in the personalization space, so they're driving traffic to their own e-commerce store. But there's many people that have TikTok accounts that are basically Amazon affiliates that just push people to Amazon listings via affiliate links. So if you have your own Amazon listing or Amazon store, have a TikTok account, you can push people to your own store using the affiliate links. You can use the link in bio, that sort of stuff, to Linktree to do it. But best way to drive traffic, I would start Amazon pay-per-click immediately, experiment with Google, and also venture into the TikTok space if you can.
I'd add to that as well, because exactly what you both said there is all about the data behind it. Also, one of the things that you're looking into, the keyword research, for example, you'll we use SalesZone for keyword research. You'll see trying to think, water bottle. Water bottle will have, say, 500 searches. I'm just making these numbers up. We'll have 500,000 searches a month on Amazon, but you put it onto Google keywords and you'll see it's got 100,000 searches a month. Now, what you tend to find is that anything in e-commerce, anything long tail e-commerce, Amazon is definitely in the top three.
Yeah,
that's how they track it. They're always middle to the bottom of the funnel. So if you're looking at that, and if you're wanting to build build the awareness, right? Okay, maybe Google's a good way to start off with that, and on your own site. But like you said, if you're looking for more the bottom tail keywords, long tail keywords, and that, then maybe direction towards Amazon, because it's the shopping system is so familiar to people. People have got their credit card details already there. We saw that Amazon's still allowing Visa credit cards after all that fuss they kicked up before Christmas. Surprise, surprise.
Mhm.
But these it's exactly what the gents here have said. Look at the data, look at your personas, and then the keyword research within it is very, very crucial, because you're looking at different people and different personas, looking at different stages of the funnel.
exactly. And I just like to add, before we move on to the next topic, that tactic is not specific to Amazon. If you do, I've run several e-commerce shops that I've used that search bar to improve our product offerings and to improve our listings inside the website and on SEO as well. Let's say I was recently running a store in Spain that sold kid party supplies, right? And there were bundles, and I used to talk to the owner a lot. We're still talking, but she always would tell me, like, I don't know what to do next. And I always tell them, like, hey, it's okay to have 30 products, but it might be better if you always just like shrink it to 15, because I would refer to the search data and the search intent inside. This is brought to you by and the search data inside your own website, right? And then oh my god, I didn't know that people were searching for Spider-Man. Now I'm going to build that kit, right? And then increase your sales that way. So I think that the search intent is key. Is key, especially in PPC. You know, it depends on the query. It depends on the keyword, whether you place them top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or bottom of the funnel. But you need to go out there and test it to understand what that funnel is. And more importantly, look at the behavior on your website. Look at how people interact whenever you launch these campaigns. Look at how they interact with your website to understand the real value. Because I mean, I'm guessing that Zach is not a big fan of Facebook because of how much of a bounce rate there is and how much they charge you per traffic.
Yeah.
But you never understand it. It's not limited to Facebook. It's all social. It's all social. And you see it on LinkedIn, which is far more expensive than either of the platforms out there, that you don't really understand what is the true impact of your advertising spend. And in the case, and I'm going to do the shameless plug here, with Mouselo, you can actually do understand what is the impact and understand what is their behavior. It's about not about landing page views anymore. It's not about how many clicks you get to a keyword. It's about what is the experience, what value did they bring, did they actually see the product, how long they spent on the page. Without that, you are essentially driving blind at this point. There's no point on spending money without understanding that depth of behavior that happens afterwards.
And if you own a website and you're not using some sort of heat map at some point to gather the data that he's talking about, you are leaving a lot on the table. Like when I first installed a heat map, I always ran my side banners on the right-hand side of the screen. Just that feels natural, right?
Yeah.
Well, the data, at least on my specific site, was, well, more people were being pulled to the left side of the screen. So I put the banners over there. Seems counterintuitive, but that's what the data showed from the heat map.
That's the beauty of it. Having that visibility would actually contest those hypotheses, best practices, or whatever. Because at the end, like I was saying about trial and error and not having a blueprint and all of these things, like you have to believe that to your core. in order to truly gain a competitive edge nowadays. Because at like most e-commerce shops, they run on templates, man. Like it's true, they start with templates, and those templates are widely used. And yes, there might be behaviors that are common across, or patterns that are common across this different sites or different businesses, but your persona is different. The person that's visiting your site is different. The needs of that person are different. And
Right.
as such, maybe you might not even need the thing on the left or on the right. You know,
Sure.
it might be at the bottom. You never know.
Mm.
It's amazing how many people like try to click on a photo that maybe isn't clickable, and the heat maps show you
Oh,
that. So now you can either make that affiliate link to your product page, whatever it might be. Before it was just a static image, and maybe the person was going to bounce right after, but now it
absolutely.
opens something. Always open in a new tab, in my opinion. If you're on your own standalone website, regardless of what type of website, new tab, don't take them off of the page that they're on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in my experience.
That usually works. And it's funny that you mentioned the click because, a lot of people, um, how do you say, they go, it's like Bible. Oh, you need to have, let's say, Google Analytics. It's ubiquitous. It's free. But then again, oh, I'm getting this clicks and I'm getting this clicks, but you don't know what happens between them. And like you said, you might have an image. That image is not an event. It's not a clickable item on your website, right?
Yeah.
With heat maps, it allows you to have that visibility. And it's funny that you mentioned that because a while back on another company that I was working for, selling cars online, we we actually visualized that a lot of people were having a lot of problems with the name of the cars and the model, and the hypothesis that came out of it is that they're looking for more information. With Google Analytics, you couldn't have seen that.
Sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
you see that click rate, you see that person struggling on that experience, and by adding a new element, you remove that friction and you make it possible for them to move down the funnel. And that had immense effect in the performance of the campaigns on PPC and on the website organic referral and whatever that may be, because you learn something about the consumer.
Yes.
It's not about the model. Some people, in my case, I don't know a lot about cars. I like the ones that I like, and that's it, as long as they have a good system and a good audio system. But there are other people that want to learn more. So that's different persona. I am the audio geek, whereas there is another person that is an engine driven persona, and that's important to understand the appeal, right? Going back to that persona development.
Absolutely. And I want to jump in with Kushma has a question, and I'm sorry if I got the name incorrect, that I'm actually kind of passionate about.
Ooh.
And it's about they're talking about the return policy that Amazon makes it easier to return than standalone websites. And that is absolutely true. However, as a brand owner, and if you have a standalone website, it's your responsibility, in my opinion, to know that Amazon's return policy is so smooth that you need to match that yourself. And you can do that in one of two ways. Lots of times we see that Amazon doesn't even actually make you return a product if it's small enough and you're unhappy with it. You just get to keep it because they know that they're shipping back to them, and all of that entails is less profitable for them to just let you keep it and move on. So you have that as an option depending how big of a ticket item you're selling. And then two is you just make it easy. You basically match Amazon's return policy. No questions asked, 30-day return or whatever you want to do. You provide them the shipping label already made out. There's no cost to them. All they really have to do is drop it off at UPS, USPS, FedEx, etc. And you make it extremely streamlined. So you can compete with Amazon if you're willing to maybe have it affect your margin on returns, but your level of care for your customer in the long term will, in my opinion, make your margins even better. So the
Right.
little bit you're losing on the returns overall will help because of how you're taking care of the customer. On the contrary, is the unboxing experience, which
Oh yeah.
I know Eddie you're into as well. On Amazon, when your product is fulfilled FBA or something like that, you don't really control the unboxing experience. It's usually in a brown box inside of a plastic bag, and that's that.
with the
inside of an even bigger box.
with the sticker of the season and the whole
Yes.
thing, like very
The
generic,
Amazon Prime
right?
tape, all of that, right?
Yeah.
Big barcode on the side of the box, ASIN sticker. So, which is fine. That's fine for some things. But going back to the TikTok example, the most of that market on TikTok are into like a pretty cool unboxing experience.
Oh yeah.
So if you have a cool product, you can push them to your own store and give them a wow factor when they buy your product and they get it. That's something that Amazon can't do.
And that's how you bridge that value also, right? So you got,
Yes.
let's say you got the original traffic for water bottles, like Dan suggested, but you don't know the brand, right? The first thing you do is you go on Google to search for the brand, get some reviews. Then again, we're back in that area in which you see the value of having both platforms at your disposal, part
Yes.
of your strategy. And maybe you have the water bottle on Amazon, but on your website you can control that experience.
Yes.
You have better customer support. Maybe you can answer some questions on the spot. Maybe you can run some feedback campaigns to understand where they came from, to see if you're actually driving any traffic from Amazon, and then create a better experience and evangelize your brand and actually create a little bit of a heightened loyalty just prior to purchase. And the unboxing it's a perfect example. I mean, it's just it's all
That,
right
that's
now, you
that's
know.
where your standalone website can just can blow Amazon out of the water in
Yeah.
that regard. And also, if you, depending on your product, if you're not running a Shopify app or a
Press to
WordPress
shop,
plugin,
3D card, BigCommerce,
Mhm.
WooCommerce.
if you're not running a kind of a chat option where a customer can chat with you, I would say hire a VA. That Amazon doesn't have that option, right? They
Hmm.
You can't be on an Amazon listing and ask a specific question. You got to ask your
No.
question and wait for someone to answer it. But on your own standalone site, someone can chat, and if you have a VA on standby or yourself, you can answer that right away and convert that person almost
Now,
instantly.
the only challenge I would say, and that this is in my experience, and it will definitely differ depending on the product.
Yes. Yeah.
But going back to this e-commerce shop that I was running in Spain, people would not chat at all
Really?
because most of the traffic was coming from Instagram.
Okay.
So since it was coming from Instagram for them, and back again to understanding that behavior, it was counterintuitive for them to start up a chat inside the website where when
Yeah.
they could do it inside Instagram.
It's
So I
funny. It's funny you say that because I see the most people that are doing it are 16 to 25.
Mhm.
That is
Well,
what I'm seeing.
I was selling kit party supplies, so 16 to 25 might not be the same. Again,
That's a very
back to the
interesting point. Is what you're
that's
making.
the same. There's not the same persona, right? So maybe
Yeah.
16
Yeah.
to 25 chat works great. Maybe
Yeah.
above that, they're more on Facebook, they're more on Instagram, they're not on TikTok. And then
Yep.
I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but it's all about understanding the consumer. It's all
Yeah.
about hyper focusing your strategy, right?
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that if anyone's gonna take anything away from today, it's the 2 points that Zach and Eddie have made here. It's understand your customer and then offering something that your competitors don't. And actually, that takes us back to a question we've got here from Randy. Zach, I think you touched on this a little bit earlier about. So Randy's asking us, is it kosher to list a complementary product, that I don't offer, stock my own e-com store, and include an Amazon affiliate link onto the product page? This obviously drives them off my site. Zach, I know you touched on
Yeah.
this a little bit earlier. Did you want to expand on this a bit?
Yeah. With regards to being kosher, yes, you are not violating any Amazon terms of use by having an affiliate link on a product page on your own e-commerce store. You can't embed any you can't embed any links into your Amazon product listing. So I'm assuming you're talking about your standalone store product page. Pushing them to Amazon, yep, you're all good. You do want to include a disclosure in the sidebar. Amazon does have rules on affiliate disclosure that just says, hey, some of these links might be an affiliate link where you earn a small commission. Double check your country, and you might need to add that disclaimer. But other than that, you are all good to use affiliate links to push people off your site. And then you said obviously it drives them off your site. Yes, it does.
But then you could get some information whether they buy the product or your competitor's product. So I think that it's tricky. Maybe you don't do it with all your products, but the ones that you're having most doubt on, maybe the one that's people are landing on the page the most, consuming the content but not committing to a purchase or adding to cart, maybe you can try to test this out and see whether or not they're finding a better solution
Yeah.
or to their problem, whether that
Yeah.
may be a product or whatever that is, right?
And hey, even if they don't even buy your product, your competitor's product, but later that night they buy paper towels, cool. You still, assuming that you were the last one to cookie them, you get a little bit of money, and that adds up over the course of a year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Someone could be shopping water bottles and then they finish off buying paper towels. It's interesting.
I go into that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's common. People get distracted. Again, it's about distraction. It's about how do you keep in them the longer, right?
Or they use your affiliate link and they buy a $5,000 pool table. I've had that happen before. So you never know.
Just cookie them.
And if you're ever bored, you just look through and see what people are buying, and it's like you're like, huh. It can be a little
yeah. There could be some light bulb moments, right?
Light bulb moments, and just entertaining as well sometimes.
Oh yeah, the entertainment factor is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm.
We should do a webinar on the entertainment.
I'm terrible for it. What was I was? I think it was like a lamp. I think I was looking for those ring lights.
Oh yeah.
I was looking for that. I ended up buying. I ended up downloading the rock version of the Pokemon intro theme tune.
Okay.
There you go.
From a lamp, looking at a lamp, and I just ended up falling down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
The lamp sellers are trying to wrap their head around, like, how'd this guy go from lamps to
It was just like it just fit everything. Whoever had targeted me, they'd seen the persona, they'd seen that I'm an old guy. That I've got nostalgia backgrounds as well.
You start building that. You start building that backstory. The persona is all about the backstory and understanding what are the different touch points. So that data could actually help you boost even the most simple thing, which is your tone in your website, your content, your titles. It's paramount to keeping people on the site or to getting people to convert on Amazon.
So talking about conversions, I'm going to give people 3 actionable things that they can go do right now when this is over, if they aren't already, that obviously I can't guarantee it, but I think will lead to some sales immediately. One, we already talked about it, but it's start your automatic PPC Amazon campaign for 5 to 7 days, pull out the best keywords and enter them into a manual campaign. You're going to be really surprised if you've never done this, the results. 2, we already kind of touched on it, but use SellZone's keyword wizard and those keywords that you just pulled out of your automated campaign and include those into your website descriptions and your Amazon listing descriptions. You're going to pick up organic SEO from doing so on both. And then 3, make sure you're answering the user's quote unquote big questions with your text and your photos on your listings. Going back to my battery lipo bag, the main photo is obviously the photo with a white background. The second photo was the same photo, but with the dimensions all drawn out very neatly in both inches and centimeters. So someone could at a glance see the size and see if it was going to work for what they needed to. I did not make them have to look for the information.
Yeah.
It's going to be product specific and things like that, but use your photos and use your text to give the potential buyer what they're looking for. Have someone come onto your listing that maybe has never seen it and see if they're able to find the details they want right away. Because you can get numb to it if it's your own listing and you've been spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
Bring in an outside source. So those are my 3 actionable things to go do today that will help your conversions.
So I guess it's my turn now to give you a little bit of it was always our objective to give some knowledge and have a good conversation, but also give some tactical advice. A lot of people are looking again to gain that competitive edge, right? On Amazon or on your website. Again, shameless plug. The first thing I would recommend to anybody that has a website, is about to launch a website, or is thinking about adding a website, please don't underestimate the power of having a tool like Mouseflow to analyze your customers' behavior inside your website, to inform your decision making inside the website, even at the stage of testing your prototypes. I mean, it will give you a plethora of information regarding interaction and time spent on a page that could potentially make or break your business. It's super important. And again, it's not like use Mouseflow instead of tools like Google Analytics. Yes, get your Google Analytics on, get your events tag, get that information in there. At the end, they do control a lot of data, and it would essentially help you run your business. But please don't stop there. Don't do it. You're doing a
Mhm.
disfavor to yourself and to your business, because there are a lot of things that happen between clicks. A lot of things, like Zach suggested a little bit ago, looking at heat maps, looking at understanding how much of your pages are people consuming, or even looking at an attention heat map on a product page to understand where people are focusing on, and then drawing some hypothesis and doing some testing to nail that to the point that that attention it decreases and increases your conversion at the same time, because it's about delivering that value right off the bat. Another thing that you could essentially do is to run feedback campaigns to keep that understanding of your consumers going. It's super important.
Mhm.
Getting them, once they convert, asking them for their opinion, getting them to understand where they're coming from, what are they going through in life. Like sometimes the most weirdest question might trigger a lot of responses that would essentially help out building that website and making it a high performing website. Another thing that you could do on your website, especially with Mouseflow, is to build your funnels. Funnel marketing, funnels. Everybody's talking about funnels, right? It's a funnel here, a funnel there. I'm not on the side of the like against funnels and funnel marketing, but I am more of like a traditional guy that understand that marketing works one way, and that yes, you can design funnels, but like it's like that meme that I guess we've all seen of the design of the pathway or of the walkway, and then you see the cross right in the middle that people just cut through. That's what
Mhm.
happens. No matter how much time you spend designing or even hypothesizing on what the behavior is going to be, there's nothing like actually watching how people interact with their site and how people evaluate their decision making based on the design, based on the information you give them. And there's a lot of blind spots in that area, and Mouseflow helps you cover those because it allows you to see them. If you build a funnel in Mouseflow for your product pages and home to product, cart to checkout, you can actually see how people, the group of people that dropped on each of the steps. You will never get to know what happened, but you'll get to at least infer and visualize what are the problems they had. Even the most basic things like having a broken button can obliterate your business.
Sure.
And that's something that we track out of the box. So definitely best advice is, like you suggested, Dan, go on, go back to basics, understand your strategy, understand your persona, and create a strategy and test it out. Strategies are not meant to be a document that you throw out and then you don't look at anymore. It's about to evolve. So use these tools and use this information to fine tune that strategy. Um, Randy, that's Mouseflow. That's a company that I work for. I see you're asking the question. It's just like I'm trying to get it in, but it's not happening. But yeah, the product is called Mouseflow. We have a wide array of plans, including a full featured, no questions asked, no commitment, no credit card needed, 14-day trial to test it out on your product. Our support team is amazing, top of the line. They'll be there to help you out, to set it up, or to answer any questions. I am mostly available to also with the team asking questions. So if you need anything, please ask for me. I'll be more than happy to help. But get your website up
Mhm.
and measure and start learning. That's the best thing. And don't be afraid to fail. That's the
Yep.
big thing. Fail fast, fail often, fail forward, I think is the saying. So
Research, test, learn, repeat. Always.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Just so we've got, I think we probably might have time for one more question if one pops up while I'm just going to do my wrap up. I'm going to give just a couple of takeaways that I've got from here today, and then Zach and Eddie, I believe you've got some offers we can talk through a little bit more about now. I know Eddie, you just mentioned it a little bit more there, but if there's the links for both offers are in the descriptions
Yes.
below on YouTube as well. I'll come to those in a second. Like I said, if there's any questions, please fire them up very quickly because we're about to run out of time. The first thing that I would say is, treat Amazon SEO and PPC exactly like you would Google SEO and Bing PPC. You need as much time and effort. You see Zach, you see Eddie, myself. I've been doing this for 10 years. Zach and Eddie have been in the industry for a while as well, and it's about making sure you've got that and you're treating it the same, giving it the amount of time, because that's a lot of where the money is going to come through as well. The second thing is a little piece of advice from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Data. I can't make bricks without clay. You need all the data you can to get what you need. Get it from wherever you can, whether it's from Amazon, from Google, from Bing. And as Eddie's just said, this is my final point as well, know your customer. Know where they're shopping, what they're shopping with, what their process is in their shopping journey as well. If you can build that persona with a CRM, and follow it as an evolution as well. I worked for a company once when we were selling cars that a high-flying exec would just buy a big old car for himself, but we know this persona is probably going to get married in the next 2-3 years. So we then target him with bigger cars. Well, then we see that said person has moved to the suburbs, and we know that their neighbors buy electric cars. So we start then targeting them with electric cars of the same version as well. So there's a lot you can do with data, and there's no such thing as too much data. Just don't be frozen by it. Test, learn, research, and repeat, and you go from there. I think we are just about out of time. I don't think there's any more questions. Eddie and Zach, I'm just going to ask you both to just give us your closing remarks. Anything you want to talk about, feel free to plug, because I'm definitely going to be looking into Mouseflow a little bit more and book in the time with Zach, because there's been some nuggets of information there that even in 10 years of doing this, I've still been caught out on the wrong side of it as well. So Eddie, hit us up with your final thoughts.
I'd really like to thank Cellzone for inviting us, or inviting me, and allowing me to reach a new audience and to give a little bit of information. I know there's a lot of things going on around, and a lot of information on social media, on Google and elsewhere, and I think that having this opportunity to talk to people and share some of my experience, it's invaluable. So if anything, I want to thank everybody for joining, and I want to thank Cellzone and you guys for putting up with some of my craziness. And I definitely learned a lot today. I hope that the people in the audience also learned a lot. And closing remarks: take advantage of the offer that we have right now. It's right there. It's 90% off your first month. And don't hesitate to ask questions. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I try to be as responsive as I can, and I do take care of my own. So thank you for joining, and I hope to see you guys around on LinkedIn and maybe in another webinar soon.
Amazing. And Zach, have you got some remarks as well?
Yeah, Dan, Eddie, pleasure. Cellzone, thank you for having me. Dan, you made a comment about being frozen or paralyzed. We talked about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of avenues you can take out there.
Yeah.
And that would be my biggest piece of advice: is don't get frozen or paralyzed based on being overwhelmed. Take one thing, try it for a little bit. You have plenty of time. You don't need to have your slam dunk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And find what works, and you can kind of tune out the rest for a little bit and just run with that. That's how I approached it. You can go on moneynomad.com/cellzone if you want to schedule time to consult with me. If not, just check out Money Nomad and a bunch of guides and blogs and things like that there. So that's what I got. Thank you, guys.
I'm tempted to almost take advantage of it myself, my friend. Some of these knowledge bombs, I can't. I've literally just emailed myself, and this is what I email my work to say, oh, actually, download our Amazon paid keywords and then look at them like that. That was because it's just something that you just don't see. Like you said before, you're in this day in, day out, and sometimes you can't see the woods for the trees. Just from Cellzone's perspective as well, thank you very much for putting up with me. I talk very fast. I mispronounce names. But from Cellzone, they've got an offer as well, 3 months for $1. Guys, I literally use this every day. I don't get paid by them as well, and this is why I do get some of the swag from SEMrush as well. You can't see that their background, but the only reason I do these is because it's such a damn good tool, and I get so much benefit out of it as well. So sign up for every single offer that you've got there. You will learn so much more having that one-to-one basis as well.
And
So from sorry, Zach, you were about to
I
say
was going
something.
to say, and Rodrigo, yes, the Cell Zone webinar consulting, that is with myself, Zach. So just answering that. But
Amazing. Gents, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks everyone for all your questions. It's been really, really
Yes, thank you.
interesting and actually making me test the balance of my own knowledge. And I've learned so much from this today. Reach out to us at any time. You've seen all our socials, you've seen all our LinkedIn handles. And again, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Right.